The young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a joke like Chappelle show. This so perennial. Do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a joke like Chappelle show. This so perennial. Do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. Yeah. I just had to let you know. Yeah. Give me that work and I can sell it. I put it on the line like I ain't selfish, nah. The story flip if I let you tell it. Put my heart and soul in so you feel it. I ain't never fake it.
I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see the rookie second-rounder Drew Lock and Denver as they match up with Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. They do it big here in Houston, and a second ago it was a Texas-sized welcome for their hometown guys. They're fired up and ready to go as they get set to match up with the Denver Broncos. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. And they've lost 3 straight here, and it goes without saying, I guess, they could certainly use a win.
And how do they get a win? Because they've lost 3 straight, I think it's paramount that they get a fast, clean start to this game.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Broncos, they've handled all comers through the first 3 months, a perfect 12-0.
Yeah, they're 3/4 of the way to a perfect season, and now's where it really starts to get into your mind. We'll see if it affects their play in any way.
Of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the inline. Texans offense heading out, and it's Deshaun Watson leading the way, the third-year man out of Clemson. Last year, 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, but the big number for the Texans, he was sacked a league-high 62 times. They'll try to do better in this one. On first down, Watson, and Thomas has it. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. And let's take a look at the Texans offense.
Have no idea where they're putting in the food in the Martin household, but they've developed 2 terrific offensive linemen. Brother Zach, a perennial all-pro at guard with the Dallas Cowboys, but Nick, no slouch at center for the Houston Texans. He sets the tone for their offensive line. He's the pivot up front.
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up third down. Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. Out of the gun, Watson. Got an open man, it's QT. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the 3rd down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3-and-out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football, got to it, and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
So now here are the Broncos with excellent field position to start off. They will be led out by a second-round pick in 2019. Out of Missouri, it's Drew Lock.
Just 4 weeks left in the regular season, and he has to be firmly in the driver's seat for the MVP award.
Yeah, as the month in December wears on, we'll see how this all shakes out, and the debate will certainly heat up. But he's done everything they've asked of him.
Wouldn't you love to be in his head right now, though, to see what he's thinking, how much this is affecting him? Is he thinking about it at all? Are his teammates talking to him about it? He's dealing with a little bit of pressure, though, even though he's right now the #1 guy.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Right about 20 yards on the pickup. Officially, they'll say it's going to go for 19. On 1st and 10, here's Locke. This one complete to the running back, Lindsey. A strong broken tackle on that one. And then they get him to the ground just shy of the 15. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it'll be a 2nd down. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Hey.
Now Locke. Rush coming, and he's taken down. J.J. Watt in there for the sack, and it's an important one from a personal standpoint, as that is sack number 100 in what has certainly been a terrific career to this point. Here's Locke to throw. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
On the ready.
Shotgun snap to Locke. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sack back around the 8 to Sean Gibson. Give him the sack on the safety blitz. Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal. Locke going to throw. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. The former #1 overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney, in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Noah Fant with touchdown number 8 on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And they will not get a chance to return this one, as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive.
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
On 2nd and 11 now. Watson. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line.
And Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
Ready? 55.
Touchdown, defense.
After the turnover, here's Locke. Going to throw deep for the... And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. Braxton Berrios, his first touchdown on the year. And the Broncos push further out in front. Well, that didn't take long. The turnover instantly almost turning into points.
And when that happens, a lot of teams have the mentality of let's strike right now. You've got them off balance after the turnover or the takeaway. Let's go get it. And that's exactly what they did.
Seibert on for the PAT. And it's good to make it 14-0. A nice, tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only one play to score it. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. We remind you that coming up later tonight, Sunday Night Football. Seems like we've seen the Seahawks quite a bit in prime time the last few weeks, and we get them again tonight as they head down to L.A. to take on the Rams. And then tomorrow night for Monday Night Football, it's Giants-Eagles from chilly Philadelphia. And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. DeAndre Hopkins, the Pro Bowler, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up second down. Watson going to give this one to Miller. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson, and that's complete to the tight end Hireman. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Devontae Booker, and all the way home for a Bronco score. That's a punt return of 89 yards. And the Broncos push further out in front. And we always talk about kick returns being so exciting on kickoffs. Punt return almost equally exciting.
And typically we talk about the kickoff return being the most exciting 10 seconds in football. Let's just cut it in half for a punt return and make it the most exciting 5 seconds in football. It's a great, glamorous, dashing play.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And it's now 21-0. So his big play capability in full display there as he's able to return that punt for a touchdown. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Houston. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Now on 2nd and 13. Watson nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Bradley Chubb has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
3rd and long. It's Watson. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. It's a gain of 11, but they're still well short. It's 4th down. Here's Kevin Huber now as he's on to punt for Houston. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. This is taken at the 10. 1:50 left to go in the second quarter. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 18 big yards on that one, and a Denver first.
Here we go.
Locke going to bring the offense up 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 6 for 6 here to start the ball game. Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete. Marquise Brown, the rookie, his intended target. And it's 2nd down. Well, prior to that, he had hit his first 6 passes to start the game, so on a nice little run to begin.
It feels like this offense has carried its dress rehearsal into the game. You know, because you do practice it, you do go through it, and in this case, it's clicking exactly like they drew it up.
Oh, never mind.
And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Throwing his Locke on 3rd down. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 20-yard line. Into the red zone, it's Locke. He'll find Metcalf. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Braxton Berrios. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Broncos push further out in front.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. That time a 6-play drive, and it ends with a Denver touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. DeAndre Hopkins and the rest of the offense heading back onto the field. With them losing here in the second quarter and his limited productivity so far, you'd have to think they're going to try to look to him a little bit more, right?
I would guess you would start to see maybe some quick screens, some hitches, anything to get the ball in his hands quickly and let him try and do some damage after the catch. Or maybe just flip some formations and keep him isolated where it's more of a one-on-one route and get the ball to him.
I said just 4 verts, right?
Hey, why not 4 verts? One of the best routes in football. Hard to cover each guy all the way along the route.
So far, just 1 catch for him. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Watson. He's got Fuller. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. From the 50, it's Watson. It's complete to Fuller. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. So on second down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. This will approach NFL record territory. It's a 62-yard attempt. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get to some of these scores around the NFL here in a busy Week 14. We'll get started over at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in downtown Atlanta. And they are seconds away from halftime, all tied in that one. We'll stay in the NFC North as we head over to Minneapolis to check on the Vikings at home in U.S. Bank Stadium. And they trail the visiting Lions in that one. Matthew Stafford, 4 touchdown passes. Lastly, we head to the Gulf Coast and check on the Bucs at home in Tampa. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Indianapolis Colts. The Buccaneers trying to gut this one out as it would be a good victory for them if they could get it. In our game, it was the rookie Drew Lock saying, "This is why I should have been picked in the first round." His 3 touchdown passes have his guys out in front. As we hand things back over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he'd taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. So the Broncos come back out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And one thing's for sure, that number 1 seed already been sewn up. It's a testament to how well these guys have played. They could lock up home field advantage with this many games still to go.
And you know what else you can do with this type of an advantage? You can plan for the playoffs a lot earlier, and I don't just mean in how you play guys or rest them. I'm talking about how you talk to your team going into the playoffs, because normally you have that conversation with them usually the last week of the season. Now you can have it earlier and say, all right, we know we're going to be at home for every game we play. I want you to take care of your tickets this way. I want you to handle hotels that way. All of those things can be out of the way, so when it comes time to get ready for the playoffs, that's all you're doing is preparing on the field and in the locker room.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Fair catch called for and made, but now we'll have to see about the penalty.
Kick catch interference. Kicking team.
Football 101, you've got to let the guy catch the ball.
You have to know the ball is there. You have to know it's arrived. Otherwise, you're going to get flagged every time.
A lack of discipline defensively on 4th down, and now that leads to a 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Watson. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Watson with a give to Miller. Trying to run inside, but nothing there.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Now Watson on 3rd down. And he's got Hireman. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards. Took till the 2nd half, but finally a red zone opportunity here. 1st and 10 at the 19. And they'll run it from the gun with Miller. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. On 2nd and 11 now. Watson, and that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on third down. They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on third down. Now it's Watson. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And they'll hustle up to stop him well shy of the first, right around the 15.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
No one attempted or made more field goals than Fairbairn last year. He was 37 of 42.
And they were grateful for every one of those that put 3 points on the board. But I'll guarantee you, Bill O'Brien, the head coach, is thinking to himself, we need to use him a lot less in 2019. Let's make sure we score some more touchdowns.
And there he goes again. The 20, 10, and all the way home for a Bronco score. He goes 105 yards on the kick return as his guys continue to pour it on. So how about the game he's having? He had the punt return earlier for a touchdown. Now the kick return to balance things out.
And oftentimes, guys who are on punt return and kickoff return, many of them are the same guys. And they're devoted to a return guy who can break big plays. And when that happens and they know it's there, they're going to block that much harder and be that much more skillful, as well as utilizing his talents. And this is what you get. Punt return, kick return, a huge game.
A fantastic return. Started in one end zone, ended in the other. All told, 105 yards. So let's try this again. After the kick return, TD, here's yet another kickoff. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up. Yeah. Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there halftime, actually. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Joey Bosa in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations, because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
That's the end of the third quarter of play. With the score, Broncos 35, Texans 3.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The Texans on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd down and 12. Watson. And that is incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Fielded at the 33. Still churning. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because, as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. Nothing on that one. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that
window closed quickly.
And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12. They look to throw. It's Locke. And they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
Locke going to bring the offense up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. To throw again on 2nd down. Locke. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. That one good for 17 yards. And now they've got it 1st and goal. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. Here's Locke. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it culminates in a touchdown by the Broncos. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Watson now to throw. Thomas has got it, complete. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down.
Pass complete. But no gain.
No yards.
Yeah.
So you file that as unsuccessful.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Except on the stats.
And that is intercepted by the Pro Bowl cornerback Denzel Ward. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. And that one, Charles, is just going to about wrap up what was no doubt a dominating defensive performance.
Yeah, I don't care what team it is. I don't care who you play, whether they're strong offensively or not. Just giving up 3 points in the NFL, that's absolutely a dominant performance and one that they can build on.
Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. The drive will commence with a run by Lindsey. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. Legs still churning.
Like a giant pinball.
And he gets it all the way down to the 3. A huge play there for Denver. 48 yards.
How about our reigning AFC Player of the Week, hot-footing it into the secondary on that run?
Yeah, nice long run. That's what got him the award a week ago. Maybe he's trying for 2 in a row here this week. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. They'll try to run with Lindsey. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with this one. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I'll guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, get the points from me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good, and that will extend this big lead. Well, it wasn't a one-play drive, but I think they'll take it. The scoring summary, 2 plays and into the end zone.
Austin Seibert set to kick off.
Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Houston. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week, we'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Broncos, the streak lives as they move to 13-0 now on the year. And they'll have another road date next week with the Kansas City Chiefs. Meanwhile, for Houston, it's a potentially fatal blow to their playoff chances as they drop to 6-7 on the year. And they'll try to rebound next week on the road in Nashville. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.